Well, thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Whatever role you play on this cause is important, whether you're a movie maker or a star or an advocate or an educator, or you just go out there and enjoy the Wild West. We appreciate your being here and your contribution to saving the wolves. I'm Dina Titus. I represent Las Vegas. We have a different kind of wolf there in my district, but nonetheless, we appreciate what happens in the wild. You know, it's interesting. I first met Avis when we were working on saving wild horses. Now, Nevada has a lot of wild horses. In fact, we're the state with the most. And we've encountered the BLM and tried to get them engaged in doing what they've been authorized to do, which is protect and manage the wild horse herds. Now that advocacy has shifted over, not leaving the horses behind, but adding to them the wolves. And it's a good coalition. These are both iconic animals of the Wild West. So if we put our two efforts together, maybe we can have more success. So thank you for being part of that. You know, as we introduce legislation here, we look at everything from transport of animals, animal testing, managing the wild horse herds, and the Environmental Protection Act. And certainly that makes a difference when it comes to saving these wolves. They were delisted under the Trump administration, wrongly so. They're protected now, but states often have a way of getting around the rules. That has certainly been the case with wild horses, and we see it with wolves as well. Even though they're supposed to be protected, there's a certain way of trapping or starving or shooting or pushing away wolves that gets around the law. And so we have to hold these people accountable and see what kind of legislation we can pass here. On the Senate side, you have a real strong proponent in Cory Booker. He and I have worked together on a number of animal issues, and I know he'd be here if they were in session. And so we can work across the two houses as we pursue what's the appropriate legislation. You know, Ashley has a great team that she can introduce you to. I have Dean Johnson, who does all our animal legislation and does a great job of keeping me informed and working these things through from one committee to the next or one office to the next. So thank you for being here. We want our special, I thought I would see, oh, there you are. Our special advocate, movie maker, award-winning theatrical personality, and the person who has really brought this to the fore. And you know, sometimes it just takes that special celebrity touch to draw public attention to an issue, and that's certainly what we get. So Ashley, you want to come and take it over and introduce your team?
Absolutely.
Woo!
Thank you, Congresswoman Titus. The Congresswoman has been such a champion of wild horses, and it's the wild horses that brought us to wolves. In 2018, I was fortunate to be brought aboard to write and direct a reimagining of Black Beauty, which was on Disney with Kate Winslet, and that film, inspired by Anna Siegel's incredible work on behalf of animal empathy and the horses of her time, inspired tens of millions of children to look at the wild horse issue in a brand new light. And that inspired my team. My brother is here in the audience, my husband, my parents. We spent 5 years creating a wild horse documentary all across the vast American West. And we got to see some of the spectacular landscapes and places and species our country has to offer. And I thought in some of those moments that, gosh, I wish everyone could get out into the wild, because if you fall in love with a place or a species, you don't tend to destroy the things that you love. And so Wild Horses Bringing Us to Wolves has inspired this event and really this movement. This is not just a day, this is a cry for the wild. And I think as many of you in the audience know, this was inspired originally by a man in Daniel, Wyoming, who ended up running over a young 9-month-old wolf pup. He taped her mouth shut and he brought her to a bar where he paraded her around and filmed it for social media because he was proud, before allegedly taking her out back and killing her. That kind of torture and cruelty has no place in our world. And so that's what we're here standing for wolves and for wildlife. And we're setting this up to introduce a much bigger swing in terms of legislation, which I'm working on with Eric Mulbar from Western Watersheds and some of the amazing groups groups that are here represented. And today we had 150 people plus fly in from around the country to stand with wolves. And that's really exciting when people come together. So thank you very much for being here, and I'm now very pleased to introduce Eric Mulbar from Western Watershed Project.